Hi guys, today we're going to take a look at a problem like what you see at the top of the screen there. 2 is 50% of what number? And as you know, I like to start with one that you might already start to see the answer to this one. But I want to show you a visual way of solving this, and it involves the double number line. I think a double number line really works well to see what's going on. And I'm going to draw the double number line vertically instead of horizontally. So you'll notice right away that what I have here is I have two different kinds of numbers. I have the number 2, and the number 2 is just like the old 2, counting 1, 2, 3. And then I also have another type of number. I have a percent, and the percent is 50%. And so when I create my number line, double number line, I'm going to separate them by numbers and by percents. You'll also notice that I've got what number. Well, what number? It doesn't say what percent, it says what number. So that is also in the same category as the 2. So let me go ahead and draw this for you. And I'm going to do a little cheat here on my tablet because I think it's going to be a little faster if I do it this way. I'm going to draw my double number line using a rectangle tool. That looks good, thank you. And I'm going to do some labeling here for you. I'm going to call this side the percent side, so I want it to be red. And I want the other side to be the numbers over here. Now, when you go to solve a problem like this with a number line, one of the things you have to remember about percent is that percent means out of 100. So you've got a percent sign. That means you've got something out of 100. So if this were a number line and this represented 0, down here we would have 100. And typically what I do when I have a problem like this is I take that percent number line. First thing I do is I cut it in half. There's 50%. And I could count by ones. I could go 1%, 2%, 3%, but then I'd have to make 100 lines. So usually I count by tens. And so my trick for that is I always cut it in half, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's 10%, there's 20%, 30, and so on. And then I'm at 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100%. Those are all percents. So I've just taken a number line and I've drawn from 0 to 100%. Now, if you take a look at what I know about this problem, you'll remember that I have 50%. Well, that's pretty easy to mark. That's right there on the number line. Now, on the other side, I have numbers. And the tempting thing to do here is to say, oh, I've got the number 2. Maybe I should be counting by 2s. And if you did that, sorry, you'd be wrong. That's not actually what we're saying here. We're saying, okay, we've got a 0 here. We've got, well, I don't know what number we have down there. Let's hold off on that for just a second. It says that 2 is 50%. 2 is 50%. What that statement tells us, it tells us where the number 2 shows up on the number line between here and here. The 2 shows up wherever the 50% shows up. Oh, that shows up right there. That's where the number 2 is. So when I look at this, from here to here is 2. And that means that from here to here is another 2. I've went from 0 to 2 to 4. It looks like that number that we don't know, that what number, sorry about that, it looks like that number that we don't know is 4. We're saying 2 is 50% of what number? 4. So that one was a fairly simple problem, and I want to show you, I set this up this way on purpose. I want to show you a couple of things that are fairly important for the next step. I'm going to switch back to the highlighter real quick, and I'm going to switch to a yellow. Here are the things that we knew at the beginning of this problem. We knew that we had a 2. We knew that we had a 50%. We know the percents are always out of 100. And what did we not know? We didn't know this down here was going to be 4. Yeah, that was what we were looking for. So I'd like to show you another way of setting this problem up using what we know. 2 is 50%. Okay. We know the percents. We're always looking out of 100. And we don't know that number. We don't know what number we're looking for, so that's going to become our x. Now, another way to write this is actually something that should start to become looking very familiar if you did last week's assignment. We've got 2 is to some number as 50% is to 100%. And say, okay, this is just a cross multiplying problem. By the way, with the percents on the top and the bottom on the right side, those cancel each other out so that we can just write 2 over x equals 50 over 100. If we cross multiply, we're going to cross multiply these numbers first, and I would really, really, really encourage you, sorry about that, to make sure that you're writing this part down. We're taking 2 times 100, using that sign, which is the equal sign, is equal to x multiplied by 50. So what we have here is 200 equals 50x. And remember from algebra, we have to isolate that x. We have to get rid of 50 times x. So we're going to divide both sides by 50. So we're going to go 200 divided by 50. And it turns out that the answer is 4. 4 is what an x equals. That's our final answer. And that's how cross multiplying matches the visual model.